Hi, welcome back to Mike's Diabetes World. Let's start off. 9.1. 1 tells me the day left on my pump. So if we hit that, I have 15 hours. I'm fully calibrated. 9.1, 2.325 units of insulin, not left in my pump, but in my body, physically working right now. I went up today. That was idiot me. It was shower day and I didn't plug it in after. Had a real big issue. Time in range really hasn't changed much from the last video. 82% time in range, 18% above, 82% in range, and 8.9. I bumped it up 1. So hopefully towards tomorrow, I can work on getting it down. I know I said this earlier, but we'll work on bringing down my blood sugars. That's the most important thing. Today, I want to talk a little bit more about all this information and what does this tell you? Up here, time in range. So we'll be right back. I was almost going to start my talk, but I didn't. So we'll be right back. This channel is provided for informational purposes only. Contact your physician for any diagnostic or treatment plan. Okay, time and range. I've done a talk on time and range before. Time and range, I've heard it referred to as the new hemoglobin A1C. Well, it's not really the new hemoglobin A1C. Hemoglobin A1C gave us an average. You could have blood sugars going up, coming down all through it, but it'll just give you a steady average. So really, you could hide behind a hemoglobin A1C if you're dealing with insurance or your doctors, because if you got a hemoglobin A1C like my last, which was 5.4, freak of nature that one, but 5.4, great. However, time in range with your CGM unit can be instrumental. You now look at the percent of the day that you are either above 10 or below 3.9, and your blood sugars in between. Now, what are the goals that we're looking for under hemoglobin A1C? Most people have learned what A1C is, but what time and range goals? Now, they're assuming the goals are set pretty much on any time and range, that 3.9 to 10 millimoles is what you're striving for. And with that, you should be in there 70% time in range. Did that. Okay. You should have less than 4% of the day below 3.9 millimoles per liter. And for the Americans, remember the multiplication we have to do to convert to your standards. I will insert it here. Okay, so you want to minimize the time each day that you are above 10. Because of this idiot, today is kind of a washout. I also went higher earlier. Who knows what goes on in my body, how my body reacts to insulin. Now, if you're pregnant, I may look it, but I'm not. If I do, I really need some electrolysis on my lip. Okay, at least 70% of the time, you have to be between 3.5 and 7.8. If you're pregnant, it's important that you keep your blood sugars under control. So I'm sorry that I'll repeat it. At least 70% of the day you should be between 3.5 and 7.8. That's what you really want to work on. And the information I'm giving you is coming from the Canadian Diabetes Association. Get that up ahead. There we go. Okay, less than 4% below 3.5. And 25% of the day above 7.8. So if you're pregnant, you really should use time and range to achieve those tighter controls. It'd be great if we could all get down there, but I know my doctor is not going to be happy if I sit around at 3.5. No. So who should really have a pump? Well, pretty well all type 1 diabetics should have pumps. But 2, it should be people that are kind of with it enough, old enough to kind of utilize the information given. It does no good, where am I here? No good for anyone to look at this information and find, I don't understand this. Because you're better than this. If you're unable to take a look at the information and know when you're going high, when you're quickly going to fall to low, and when to report, then having a CGM doesn't really matter. Because remember, CGMs were around a long time. So if you're just a newly diagnosed diabetic and you're out there, you can do blood tests, and you can have what your doctor suggests to eat, but you don't have to have a CGM. Now, you don't necessarily need to have a pump. Dexcom operates where you can have a receiver and your pump. Same with Freestyle. With Freestyle, you have to tap it or appear to tap it. Time and range, if you get 90% all the time, you're doing awesome. If right now you're just hitting 70, you're still doing awesome. You may need to tweak things here or there, so speak to your doctor. There may be reasons why he wants you at a certain level. For me, he would rather I sat a little bit higher. I'm saying around 8. So I'm not going to get that really, really tight, get down there as low as you can number. Because if I decide to drop, it'll drop. Like I said, the information I gave you comes from the Canadian Diabetes Association, or as they're referred to now. I keep calling them the old name, but the new name is Diabetes Canada. They have more information about time and range, and they are the ones that brought out this standard. If you go at 70%, I believe they took a look at complications, and 70% seems to be quite good. Now, if you take a look at all your numbers for the day, you get a graph like I show you pretty much every day. You get a graph, a circle graph, with the amount of time of the day that you spent within time and range. Now, to figure out how long you were, so we'll take my number of 82, find your calculator here. Where is it when I want it? It's never, there it is. So 82% times 15 equals 1230 minutes. Divided by 60, and I don't. Sorry, let me start at 82 times 15 minutes, because 1% counts for 15 minutes, times equals 1,230 divided by 60 equals 20.5 hours. In the last 24 hours, I was within range. So that's the percentage of time you were in range, multiply that by 15 divided by 60. And that will get you the actual time that you were in. How long was I in range? It won't tell you the time because on your pump, this is my pump, it's my phone, you have that, and you have this. So, as I mentioned before, time and range is important for you to keep your information on how well your diabetes is going. Time and range really, they used to call hemoglobin A1C the report card. And I really feel that that kind of turned people off. No one wants to be reported. This tells you how your treatment is going. If you go high for a part of the day because you miscalculated a carb, that's great. But treat it and carry on. You need to be alert and be able to do it. Don't worry that why you were out. Just deal with it and carry on. If your doctor takes a look at your time and range and takes a look at your blood sugars for the day and says, well, this is funny, this doesn't, what happened on this day? You could tell them, I screwed up. I didn't hook my pump back up. Or I miscalculated on a meal and my blood sugar went through the roof. Time and range also is something you're able to see, you're able to deal with. Hemoglobin A1C, you had to go to the lab, or if you were in the hospital, they come, they draw a blood sample, they take it back, and about within 8 hours you'd have the result. And there's a whole big calculation that hemoglobin A1C has to do to tell you what your blood sugar is. Or you can go online and look up hemoglobin A1C conversion chart. And there, it's easily done for you. You can just look what your hemoglobin A1C result is, look before, below, get a number, and you're fit to go. This is right in your hand. This gives you the power to see how you're doing. For me, how we're doing. So 20 hours yesterday, I was in control of my diabetes. 18% of the time, I wasn't. So if we do, let's just do this again. So let's do 18. Sorry, what am I? I'm at 82%. I don't know why I said 18. So let's clear and let's do 82 times. No, we did that one. 18. There, that's well, 18. Times 15 divided by 60. For 4 hours and 5 minutes, I was out of range. Actually, I think we're out an hour, but that roughly gives you how much time. 1% equals 15 minutes. It may not be 100% on how much time, but that's where we're looking at. You can take a look, you can understand. Most people know that when they were high the day before. As a young diabetic, I could always remember when I had low, because I get orange juice or I get a Snickers bar, or they had little cans. They used to have little cans of orange juice, and they'd have chocolate. Since then, chocolate bars have been shown not to be the greatest. But now we have all of this, and it allows diabetics like you and me to have the information they need to take action. I'm a little slow in action, but for a diabetic who responds normally, here you go. So, time and range. We looked at who should have it. We also looked at what are acceptable ranges on whole. Your doctor may modify this, but if you're talking time and range and you say I'm 82% time and range, most people are going to say that's pretty good. Ideally, it'd be great if we could all get down to 100%. But diabetics, or type 1 diabetics, are realistic. And they know that there's so many other variables out there. But learn your time and range. Use it as a tool to see how you're doing. And with that, I hope this has helped. Have a great day, and we'll talk again soon. Bye now. My email is mikesdiabetesworld@gmail.com. mikesdiabetesworld@gmail.com.